I think that in South Africa, particularly people who have jobs, who have opportunities, forget too easily that it took other people to help them get the opportunities they have. And so they don't think about extending their opportunities to others enough.
So social connections play a remarkably important role, whether people define them as mentorship relationships or just other social networking relationships.
You just have to be open to sharing with your network with somebody who isn't privy to those networks.
Finding opportunities to connect outside of the space that's the most familiar. Because often the space that's most familiar, you know its limits in terms of opportunities. You need to step beyond.
In the absence of the type of leadership that gets us there, the burden does shift back to us in order for us to start crafting solutions for ourselves.
Ngumsebenzi omkhulu and ayingomsebenzi ongenziwa ngumuntu omnye. Ngumsebenzi ongenziwa kukumanyana kwe-NGO, kukumanyana kwe-private companies, kukumanyana no-government.
I think what stops people from creating connections, I think, is maybe, well, there's the obvious barriers to entry where, you need experience, you need a degree, you need this, and that's why a lot of maybe young people aren't getting absorbed into a lot of places.
I think one thing that, does stop people from moving out of their social circles or network circles, I guess it's a sort of fear, right?
So the problem with social connections in particular is that they still largely are defined by common interests and, common purpose in most cases.
So growing up as a white person under apartheid, you are by definition privileged. You have things a lot easier.
I think that certain level of privilege in all of us needs to be exercised in different ways.
It's not a culture that we have, and it's a culture that we need. The culture of opening doors for others.
So South Africa is a tough place. And spatial inequality is a big thing here. All these years later, we still live largely in divided spaces. And so it's even harder here to make the connections across the lines. And those are lines of race, but they're also lines of class. And for employment and unemployment, all those lines, we need to find ways to cross.
But coming into university as the first child in our family to do that, I had no idea what I was expecting. And so when I, come into a class that has 400 students and I'm coming to a place where I'm expected to write essays and use computers, I came from a background that did not have any of that. And I wasn't prepared for any of that.
I-challenge endidibana nayo isikakhulu kukutshintsha usuka eSMK ubheka eFree State. Ndifike pha i-level endikuyo ku-grade 8. Kwi-peers zam ke nyani ke that age bekumele uba ndikwa grade 8, but i-level le ulwazi olu labe luphantsi kakhulu.
When I relocated to Cape Town, I did not know a single person. I didn't know anyone.
We need actual real spaces where people can go to, see other young people, meet other older people, and a place where you can make human connections, because those are the ones that are going to take you the furthest.
So things like visits to workplaces, linking schools to each other across the divides, creating social and cultural and creative opportunities for exploration of things like music and art and so on, are all mechanisms, open streets, local markets that bring people in from different parts of the community and society. The digital space is a very interesting one. Of course, data is an issue there, but there are ways around that.
So, ndibelieve into yoba ngaba unxibelelwano seyinto elula ngoku because sine-social medias. Ndibelieve into yokuba ngabana thina singilulutsha singakwazi into yokuba ngabana sisebenzise i-social media ngendlela e-positive.
Young people are their own greatest support. They support one another very well.
My community is huge. When I started my business, Toasted, I framed the idea around my community, what I felt we were missing, and things that I thought that people in my community would like to do. And for the first 2 weeks of my business, it was really just my friends coming to Toasted, posting on social media, and that's really how the word got out.
When we were at university, we obviously had that formal network that was created because of the program that we were part of. But I think also what we did is that we sort of expanded the networks informally. So a lot of my best friends now are people that I met at university. I think I need an opportunity there, or I heard there's an opportunity here.
Xa ngabe kukho indibano ezikhoyo ekuhlaleni sufika uhlale wedwa pha uzifakele headphones ngena phakathi kwabantu ungafumanisa into yoba ngabana apha kule ngingingि yabantu sinayo kukho lo kanye wazi lento wena izokusa kwimpumelelo.
The major challenges I faced was actually I didn't believe in myself. I didn't know who I am.
I certainly know that my life has changed because somebody saw potential in me and decided that I could be more than I had imagined.
I think the key there is, once you are hit with, a challenge that needs, some solution, it's not being afraid to kind of reach out to the right people.
I can be given opportunity to be in the room with very important people, but if I don't have the confidence to speak, tell my story, answer a question, put your hand up, you're never actually going to be recognized.
Mentorship is something that you must pursue, and that's what I learned. One of my lecturers, he saw something in me as a student. As a second-year student, he started to take interest in the work I was doing.
I didn't know myself, but she could see that from far, and she invested so much in me. She invested in me to ensure that she's going to activate my strengths. With that activation, she walked the journey with me.
So, ndingangomnye umuntu endimrecomendayo njengomuntu odlale inantuki role enkulu ebomini bam.
Lending his networks and trusting me in his networks was one of the greatest gifts.
Networks are not just about the next job. They're also about inspiring you, meeting people who put you on a path, learning new skills that may have nothing to do with your work agenda. But it's all part of building who you are, and you must take those opportunities when they come.
I think that's where the kind of more indirect, access to networks really, allows you to, build good, so let's call it sounding boards, around, your direction, your business.
What we need to do is make visible invisible work. And the invisible work of connecting people or showing people opportunities is something we don't ask people about. We must be connectors of good people to good people and make sure that people have as much exposure to opportunities through us.
Unxibelelwano seludlale indima enkulu kakhulu kum ebomini ngoku. Nendisajonge phambili ke ukwazana nabantu ngoba
celebrating young people promotes confidence and a high self-esteem, and also that encourage others also to go and do what they want to do in life, and also to believe in themselves.
We do need to start cultivating ideas of collaboration, ideas of putting things together that will enable many more of us, whether it's at community level, whether it's at social structure level, to be able to say, look, this is what we're doing in order to improve our own prospects.
If we choose to be in this together, anybody who aligns themselves with the vision of a democratic future, you're part of you're part of the movement.
We are the means of interactions among people, in which they create exchange info, ideas, and visual communities, the network, the official and communication, marketing, the manage, the main, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.